Welcome one and all to Chiller Night Live. I'm your host Bryan Hogue, and welcome. Hey, this is pretty cool. Bonehead right out the gate says, hey Bonehead, thanks for joining us. Ava says, hello, my baby. All right, this is kind of cool. I just changed the settings before we began here tonight, so I'm able to actually see your icons beside your name. That's pretty neat. I was looking to see if I could change the settings here and make things a little better. And SPC, hey SPC, thanks for joining us. Hello everyone, he says. Yin's still there. We are. All right, so Ava says I can't hear anything. Oh no. All right, is it on right now? How about now? Testing. Testing. Huh. How about now? How are we doing now? See, the sound bar is showing that I've got sound. All right, so can you hear anything now? Hopefully we have sound. Tom says, hey, all you ghoulies. Hey, Tom, thanks for joining us. D says, good evening, everyone. Good evening, D. Raymond saying, hello. Hey, Raymond, thanks for joining us. So I am just waiting to see a thumbs up or something to indicate that we get sound. That'd be awesome, because I heard we didn't have any at first. So let's see how that goes. I hear great, Bonehead says. That is fantastic coming from a man with no ears. So nice and loud now, D says. Okay, groovy. Is it too loud? Maybe it's too loud. Maybe I should turn it down a little bit. SBC, Bone. Okay. Patty says, are werewolves a problem in Penn State? I don't know. Not that I've ever heard. I don't know. Has anybody... Where's Lasercorn at? He might be able to tell us. I haven't seen him on here for a long time. SBC says sound is okay. I'm getting thumbs up. All right, awesome. I don't see Renee. I don't see Renee yet, so I'm hoping Renee is out there and can join us. I hope she's healing up well from her... good evening down there. From her procedure there. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have played around with the settings before we started, but I did. All right, so we'll wait to see if Renee comes on here, and hopefully she's all right with her shoulder surgery she had done last week. So Chiller Night Theater. Hey, every Saturday night, of course, all of you know this, but if someone's new joining us, you can watch episodes of Chiller Night Theater every Saturday night on Stream TV. And I did get that, I did check with Stream TV over the weekend, and I was able to pull up the schedule and post that on Saturday. I haven't been able to access the site, so but I think everything's okay there. I think everything's fine. Oh, D said it wasn't too loud. It was perfect. All right, then I'll put it back to perfect. But thank you for the feedback there. Ears is just the beginning of what Bonehead lacks, Tom says. Oh! Bonehead says, hopefully Miss Renee is doing well after surgery. Yes, hopefully so. Well, let's see. But yes, once again, yeah, I was able to post. I haven't been able to post the episodes for probably at least a month, if not more, 4 or 5 weeks there, because I couldn't access the Stream TV's on schedule, the schedule for that night. So I was able to get to that and post to you fine, frightening folks the schedule. And so Adam says, "Are you a Ghost fan, Bryan? The band?" I gotta admit, Adam, I'm not familiar with the band, The Ghost. Um, how about you? I mean, what do you think? Because you've asked the question, so is this a band that you like, and where are they from? Are they from your neck of the woods? Patty says, "Hi, Ava. Hi, all." Bryan says, "Hello. Oh, hey, Bryan. Thanks for joining us." All right. So, yes, I am a thoroughly lacking individual, Tom Bone says. Hey, you're a skull. I mean, give yourself some credit. SBC says, "Today was Carnival, the German equivalent of Halloween in terms of not horror-themed costumes." Ah, yes, Carnival. I know that they've had that in Brazil. I've been down there for Carnival in Brazil in Rio de Janeiro, and I'm guessing it's just as elaborate and big of an event over in Germany. Somehow I don't know. It was pretty big down there. Let's see. Jason says, "Bryan, what is your favorite found footage horror movie?" Favorite found footage horror movie? You mean like the Blair Witch Project? Like they're finding the footage? Is that what you mean? If that's what you mean, I'm going to go with Blair Witch because that was the first one, first of all, that popped into my head. first. But also because I thought it was so well done, if that's what you're referring to. I just thought that was really, really well done. I thoroughly enjoyed that movie. I don't understand the critique of it as hard as it was because there was a lot of people like me who just felt it was fantastic. So I thought it was just a creepy movie at the time. That's one of those, like, kind of like The Exorcist, though. I've said that before on here. It's like, that's one of those one and done. You can watch it the first time. I don't know that you can watch it repeatedly and certainly not get the same effect out of it, but I'm going to go with that. Stan Smather says, "Good evening." Hey, Stan, thanks for joining us. Let's see. Patty says, "Carnival sounds like Mardi Gras." It basically is. And if you can imagine more of on a countrywide setting, at least in South America and Brazil. Adam says, Linkoping? What the heck am I saying here? Sweden, they're an occult rock metal band. If that's your cup of tea, I think you'd like them. I can't say that I don't know that I've ever listened to an occult rock metal band. Occult rock metal band, specifically that anyways. I mean, there might be some that kind of have the symbolism and stuff like that. There was, they're releasing their new single tonight at midnight. Midnight, he writes. All right. Well, I hope that it is pleasing to you, Adam. I hope that you you enjoy it. That's cool. They're from Sweden, huh? No, I gotta say I've never heard of them. I'm not really big into the music scene, though. I mean, unless, gosh, I like country. I sound like such a square on here, but I'm 80s heavy metal. D says, "I could access Stream TV too this weekend." So he stayed up watching the quadruple feature. It was great. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I did talk to Luke who runs Stream TV, and I talked to him earlier that day before I made that post. So he kind of navigated me through on how to acquire the schedule for that night. Stephanie says, "Hey y'all, sorry I'm late. I was at the book club tonight." Not a problem. We just got started. Wow. So hope you enjoyed your book club. But it says, "Living with Monsters" is a found footage Godzilla short film on YouTube. It's pretty good. Raymond says, "It was a great movie, but the college kids had very limited Victor swear words." Very limited Victor swear words. Yeah, there was a lot of that on there, wasn't there? It seems like every other word was. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think that they were just trying their best to go for this. What would we really sound like out in the woods with no filter? I mean, um, Patty says, I saw the Blair Witch in the theater. I was the only one that didn't scream. To me, it was a psychological study in fear control. Interesting. SBC says, Blair Witch Project makes Manos look good. Oh, listen to you. Vocabulary, not Victor. Duh, Raven says, I wasn't sure what you were going for there. I understood the gist of what you were saying, but for the life of me, couldn't figure out where Victor fell in that sentence. Fear to control, I meant to say, Patty says. Okay. Study in fear to control. Bunda says, hello, Miss Stephanie. I passed on your wishes to Glamfangs, and she said, thank you, and reciprocating wishes back to you. Stephanie says, hey, Pat, I watched the Blair Witch Project in theaters, too. I didn't see it in the theaters. I saw it on VHS as soon as it came out, and I very much enjoyed it. Let's see. Let's see. Let me get caught up here a little bit. SBC says, I like listening to 80s speed metal while racing through the city on the bike. Yeah, why not? Kevin says, good evening. Sorry I'm late. Hey, Kevin, thanks for joining us. Al says, hi, everyone. Sorry I'm late. Hey, Al, thanks for joining us. All right. Dee says, I need my Dramamine with the Blair Witch Project. I just can't. Bonus says, I have no filter. That's probably the reason why I say so many dumb things. Jason says, horror in the high desert. The last broadcast. Hell House LLC are decent found footage movies, but Blair Witch sets the standard. Yeah, I think after the Blair Witch. Now, Paranormal Activity, the first one, if you want to consider that, I guess that would be, I mean, they found it, they didn't have too far to find it. It was in the house and all that, but that was another one I really enjoyed. What was that, 2004 or something like that? But man, I thought that was a really good one. Brett says, hi, everyone. Hey, Brett, thanks for joining us. Jason says, I saw Blair Witch in the theater and the crowd was not into it, which lessened my experience. Really? Wow. I'll tell you what, though, when I saw it, I'm trying to remember if I saw it by myself or if I was watching it, because I was staying at my cousin's at that time. And I don't remember if he was, I think maybe it was the two of us watching that, or maybe I was watching by myself. I really don't recall. But I just remember, maybe it was better watching it with a small group of people, or just one or two people. I don't know. Just very, very creepy. Bonus says, hey, Brian, Miss Glamfang says hello to you and wishes you and yours best wishes. Oh, that's great. Well, tell her I say hello to her as well. We do miss her. Stephanie says, has anyone seen Diary of the Dead? I have seen that one. I own that. I own a copy of that. But I don't know. I liked. I mean, I thought that was good. But yeah, I gotta go with either the Blair Witch Project or Paranormal Activity for my top two, at least, that I can think of off the top of my head. Ava says, I saw the Blair Witch at a drive-in. Loved it. That was a creepy movie. Tom says, just put a coffee filter on your head bone. That'll work. Put a coffee filter on your head bone. That'll work. What are you two? Oh, the filter. Oh my gosh. I had to go up and look at that. Buzzing. Brett says, how's Ava? She's doing well, Brett. She's actually on YouTube, so you can't see her responses, and she can't see yours, but yeah, but she's on here, and she's doing pretty good. So, Ava, Brett saying hi. Patty says, you need an audience to heighten your fear. Feedback loop. Like, yeah, I mean, I guess I could go either way with that, yeah. But I mean, that could also kind of backfire. Look at was it Jason who said that? Yeah, he saw it in the theater and the crowd wasn't into it, so it kind of lessened that experience for him. So Kind of gambling there. Tom says, so who got Morion sickness? Motion? Motion? I'm going to put a T in there instead of an R. Sickness. I know it's easy to do. Watching Blair Witch. I remember that being a thing that happened to quite a few people. I didn't. However, the motion. I saw it on a much smaller screen. I wonder though if you were watching it on a big screen if that would have happened. Apparently it did where you were seeing it. Bonus says, Brian, maybe hopefully this year you could somehow get a Saturday night show in sometime. That might happen. That might happen. It's hard for me to. It's so hard to tell. Saturdays is like if I'm going to have groups like last Saturday before I started the day. Got a group booked in like the morning while before I left, and then on my way in I got to the store and started setting things up and say, I have another group here that must have booked on my way as I was driving in. So Saturdays is my busier day. I could start out with nothing, get walk-ins or get bookings, so it's hard to say for Saturdays. But yeah, I agree. I think Saturday night is the best night for this type of thing. Let's see. Brian says, would Cloverfield be considered found footage? I don't know. I mean, if not, I think it fits that category of the point of view, the POV type of. If so, I mean, Cloverfield. I kind of forgot about that one, Brian, but I did enjoy that one. Thought that one was pretty good. SBC says the first Paranormal Activity was great. The rest was total trash. Yeah, I agree with that. Ava says hi, Brett. So Brett, if you're still on here, I think I see a little emoji there. I don't know what that is, Brett, but little weird face guy. Let's see. But it says, Patsivan, thank you, my wonderful friends. I really am feeling the love tonight. Bones, I work at Walmart. Do you need any bags? Brad says, hey, Brad, thanks for joining us. Brian, I had a dream again. Oh, the dream. The dream. It was about Dracula and Frankenstein coming to the public domain 2027. All right, I am going to be talking a little bit about the revival of Chiller Night Theater. I'll bring it up here because I want to ask you guys something about that. But keep dreaming on. Keep being a dreamer there, Brad. Just don't dream your life away. We can wait till 2027. Jason says, Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2 was horrible. I agree. Third movie, Blair Witch, was good. Is that the latest one they did? If that's the case, where you actually saw like that spider-looking thing, that was kind of creepy. Al says, I saw Blair Witch in the theater. Tom says, it was all the handheld shaky cam that was messing with people. Oh, yeah, I can imagine. Bonus says, well, if you can, Brian, please let me know so I can let Glam know. She'd really, really love to participate in the show. She says she misses and appreciates the Chiller Night crew. See, here's something there's PBR. I see the waves. So thanks for joining us, PBR. Let's see. We need some of the other folks that used to be on here. SBC, Paul, and Renee. Renee's missing tonight, so hopefully we see her again soon. I hope. Renee, if you're watching this later on, if we don't see you tonight, if you're watching this later, I hope all went well with your surgery. And it might just feel, pretty uncomfortable right now. I know mine was, I don't know, a couple days, I guess. I took all the medicine that they gave me, though. I will say that. But my problem wasn't even with the shoulder, as I mentioned last week. But was just like, okay, I expected the pain. There was some degree of pain, but mine was with the bicep, and my bicep didn't. I didn't know if that was ever going to heal up right. I was kind of getting a little worried about that because they had to reattach some muscles in the bicep for some reason. But that took from, okay, I had my surgery in November of 2022, and that didn't heal up until, I think, June or July of 23. And now it's like I don't even know I had the surgery. So it will get better, Renee. It will. It will. So Patty says, caution, sleeping beauty syndrome is real. And it is not a coma. What is, what? Well, we don't want that. Sleeping Beauty syndrome is real and is not a coma. Sleeping Beauty syndrome. Okay, I've not heard of that, Patty. I've not heard of that. Jason says, please tell Glam Fangs I said hello. Bonus says, get well soon, Miss Renee. Yes, get well soon. Let's see. Theater, Stream TV, Chilling Night Story. Tonight's theme. And we don't have to, because I know I throw a topic out here sometimes if we want to see it. I pick tonight, slashers. The old slasher films. Let me make that a little bigger. And I have, and if we want to stay on this topic, we can. If we want to switch it around, we can do that too. But I am determined to at least read Screen Rant's 10 best slasher movies of all time. Now, they're getting their information from IMDb, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what Screen Rant says. I'll go down the list. Oh, Jason says, arguably, Cannibal Holocaust was a found footage film. Very intensely disturbing Italian horror film. Yeah, it was. that was, and so many people thought that was real. And even like, I don't know, there is it's done well enough. You kind of wonder sometimes if some of that stuff was real or not. But, and then you can do a film on the opposite end of the spectrum really, really poorly, and you still have some things in there where you're not sure if they're real. For example, Ava and I, don't know why we did, but last night we watched Food of the Gods from, what was it, 1976? We watched that last night, and we just noticed that during a lot of the scenes with the big rats, and they had the shotguns and they were like shooting out a window, and then you see a rat, and this thing would look like it's being blown apart. And I'm thinking, okay, all right, 1976. They're probably not thinking of animal cruelty at this point, and they're probably just out there blasting a rat with a pistol or maybe a high. I don't know if they'd use a high power rifle for it, but you just see the rat and the poof, And I had to Google this as we were watching the movie. I'm like, are they killing these things, or is that what we're watching? Are they blowing these rats away in real life and then just filming them and like as if they're shooting with the shotgun? Now they claim that no rats were hit or harmed during the making of Food of the Gods. That they were actually shooting them with a little like a paint, like a paintball or paint droplets or something that would splatter and knock them back. I don't know. That might be. It sure didn't look like that was the case last night, but there you have it. We watched Food of the Gods. Bonus says, best wishes to the Chillin' Night crew from Miss Glamfangs. When Bryan reads all the comments out loud, she gets to hear them whenever she watches the replay of the show when she gets time. Oh, that's cool. Very cool. Brad says, who loves Manos? The Hands of Fate. We were wondering where Paul was. He hasn't been able to really keep up with the timing of the show anymore. But maybe he watches it later. I hope he does. So if you're watching this later, Paul, we say hello, and Brad's wondering who loves Manos, the Hands of Fate. I think we know who. Slasher, SBC says, yes. Jason says, Michael Myers was the best slasher of all time. Jason will do, but it says, D says, I love Jason Voorhees. Kane Hodder is the only Jason in my book. I gotta say, yeah, Jason is probably my favorite out of the slashers. Brad says, nobody compares to Ego the Caveman. Ego the Caveman. Now that, I picked that for tonight's slasher. Even though that's Jason, of course, from Friday the 13th Part 2, before he got the hockey mask. Which he did in Part 3 in 3D. I just think this is kind of, just that image of the slasher. Just a generic slasher. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because that was one of, I don't know, that was my first rated R movie, by the way, that I went to. It was Friday the 13th Part 2. The 80s. Yep. Jason says, Food of the Gods was a good film. I just saw a favorable review of it on YouTube. Really? Sadly, there were real animal deaths in Cannibal Holocaust. Yeah, I can absolutely believe that. I saw Cannibal Holocaust back in the early 2000s. I don't remember a lot of it, but I do remember at the time thinking, "Oh my gosh, this is pretty bad." I don't. SBC says, I don't want to buy one of the rats. But it says, I always tell Glamfangs that she's a special person and Spider. And whenever she hears the comments, she realizes just how much we all miss our sweetheart of screams, Miss Glamfangs. Yes. Yeah, it's a shame I can't do this on. Jason says, Ega! Yes, Ega. Oh, that's right, Jason. He liked Ega. Yeah, Saturday night was like the best night for this. Brad says, Jason, your mother is talking to you. Yes. 3D movies. Yep. Something magical about those 3D movies. Bonuses. I vote for Michael Myers, but he's really the only slasher I ever liked in as far as them movies go. Stephanie says, I love the first 4 Friday the 13th movies. Yeah. I remember asking Tom Savini, because the 4th one with Tommy, the kid was like into all the monster magazines and the comics and the special effects and the makeup kit and everything. And I asked him, during my interview with him, you can find that on Chiller Chat. I'm like, was Tommy based after you? It would seem likely that the writers had Tom Savini in mind when they were developing this character of Tommy. He says, I don't know. I never really was told that. He says, but I'm going to say officially that yes, Tommy was a homage to me, Tom Savini. So we then and there declared that Tommy on Friday the 13th, Part 4, was a homage to Tom Savini. D says, which Jason movie ended up being the paramedic instead of Jason? That was Part 5. I felt so cheated in that film, LOL. Right, I think we all did. And then Part 6 was Jason Lives. The part where an older Tommy, goes and digs up the body and sticks at the fence, the metal fence, and then it gets struck by lightning and brings him back to life. Much kind of like the Frankenstein monster brought back to life by lightning. The 80s. SBC says, I have a great one. The Creeper, 1977. The Creeper, 1977. Well, let's see what this. All right. The 10 best slasher movies. What is this? You've probably never heard of, it says, and the first one is Child's Play. Oh, come on. Do better, Screen Rant. Child's Play, 1988. All right. We all know Chucky. In fact, while we're doing this, I'm going to put this, not this one, I'm going to put my Slashers t-shirt picture up here. Available at Chiller Night. We'll get to that a little bit later. All right, Slashers, my selfish promotion of the store also. Halloween 2018. All right, I say any Halloween. I mean, they're just going with Halloween 2018 specifically. Not sure why. I would go with the original one from 1978. They're talking about a Rob Zombie's attempted a reboot. All right, so Your Next 2011. What makes Your Next such an excellent slasher flick? I didn't see Your Next. And definitely worthy of being on this list is it was a modernized take on the genre that had become somewhat stale. The theme featured a dynamic female lead who was able to take care of herself and become more than capable as the film went on. I think that's kind of like the theme of most slasher films from the 80s and onward anyways, but they seem to think that was a unique quality for the film, so all right. The Final Girls 2015. See, I mean, it's one of those surprising movies that kind of crept up on everyone when they were least expecting it and became pretty beloved. I've never heard of The Final Girls 2015. Black Christmas 1974. All right, now that is a slasher film that doesn't often get the respect it deserves. It also helped kickstart the slasher era, even predating Halloween. Right, you know what? Just a little bit. I'm going to put this back on there. That's a little better. Many people don't realize that Halloween was heavily inspired by Black Christmas. All right. Scream 1996. We were talking about Scream just like last week. I believe it was. Scream 1996. All right, Scream certainly has its audience. I wasn't the biggest fan of Scream, but yeah, there's a lot of people out there who really enjoy the movie. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1974. That's a given. Had to be on the list here. Screen Rant's list of top 10 slasher movies. And A Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984. All right. I was waiting for that one. Halloween, 1978. There you go. There you go. Probably the most famous slasher movies that kind of wasn't the one that kick-started everything, but it was one of the ones that was certainly popular enough to where everybody else wanted their hand in the cookie jar when it comes to the slasher movies from that point on. Psycho 1960. All right, very, very cool. All right, that was it. That was their list. Anybody agree, disagree, have a few of your own you'd like to put on there? SBC, we read about The Creeper 1977, The Peeper 1978, Bonehead says. Mad Men 1981, SBC says. See, some of these I gotta admit I'm not familiar with. Love the shirt, Stephanie says. Thank you, thank you. I saw that one when I was going through my list of shirts to get, and I had to get that one. I mean the famous slashers in the Mystery Machine, you know, had to do it. Had to do it. Are those slashers riding in the Mystery Machine? LOL. Yes, they are, Tom. Yes, they are. Let's see. Let me see. So, D says, so who likes the original Halloween movies? And who prefers the Rob Zombie remakes? I'm old school. I love the classic original. I like the original ones. I like up until Part 6. In fact, Part 6 is... You know, besides the original Halloween, of course, 1978, I mean, of course. Part 6 was, again, I was still, even though that came out in the 90s, it still felt like just that fun 80s, there's something very 80s feeling about it. But that one there, they took it just a little more seriously than they had with the last few Halloween movies prior to that. So I don't know. I thought it was well done. I thought it was a fun movie to watch. I still do. But it says, but at least you've got some eyes, Tom. the old the old eyes are gone. Well, SBCs. I think they just let AI create their lists. Maybe. Oh, I hope not. You never know. Stephanie, I watched The Final Girls 2015, but I never got to finish it because I fell asleep because it was on at midnight to 2. Ah, okay. Yeah, it's kind of late to stay up. Bonus says, I didn't really like zombie-filled Halloween. Oh, Rob Zombie's Halloween movies. Yeah, I didn't see anything uh, special about them. You know, I just didn't. I wanted to like them more than what I did. Brad says, you know what the scariest horror film of all time is? I just had a nightmare about it the other night. Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Yeah, we have a winner here, LOL. The Last Jedi. That's just, that's awful, Brad. That's awful. I mean, really, it was an awful movie. Stephanie says, I love classic Halloween, yes. Original is best, Bonet says. Sleepaway Camp, 1983. Biggest shock was the ending. Yeah, it was. And the girl who, Felicia Rose, who played the little girl, I met her at the Franklin Comic Con, where Jack Shadow was a guest. And she was really like super friendly and fun. She was like, we were in the Franklin Club at the time when it was open, and it was just we were down we all went down to there was her and and I feel weird because I can't think of the actor's name, but he was with us. We went down to the bar at the lower level and downstairs, and I couldn't really drink anything because I was in the costume and the mask. I really didn't feel like getting a straw with my martini, so I didn't really order anything. But I was just having a good time. It was those conventions are a fun environment to be with, to meet people. And but she was pretty cool. But yeah, biggest shock was the ending, SBC says. D says, I thought Jason X was a fresh new angle, nothing but fun, silly sci-fi gore. Yeah, that it was. Very, that big dumb fun type of, yeah, it was just, you can't take that one seriously. You just gotta, and that was Kane Hodder reprising his role as, or did he have to? Who played? No, Kane was in it. What? 7, 8, 9, and 10. Am I right in that? So at least 4 movies where Kane Hodder was, I think. He definitely was in Jason X because I mean he had that unmistakable look, which he does. Anybody who's a Kane Hodder fan knows that look Jason has. But then I thought it was kind of a mistake to have went to a different actor. When they got Robert Englund to play Freddy versus Jason, I really, really was shocked to know that they didn't get Kane Hodder to play Jason. So, John Carpenter is a master of horror. Halloween '78 was amazing, Jason says. Yes, I 100% agree. Brad says, Happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock, LOL. Yeah. SBC's, does Manos count as a slasher movie? Manos is whatever you want it to be, SBC. Whatever you want it to be. I'm not going to deprive you of whatever you want to call that movie, or anybody else for that matter. So, let's see. All right, now I'm going to take a moment to... Oh, yeah, and we look at that. We have the t-shirts there at Chiller Night. Come on out. If you're in the area of Venango County, Pennsylvania, I emphasize Venango County, Pennsylvania. We are not near Pittsburgh. We are up in the Oil City, Franklin area. So come on in, Venango County, to Chiller Night. And come on in and check what kind of merchandise we have. You know what else we have? We have these little. Speaking of slashers, we have Jason, little Funko. I had that. I was talking about that a few weeks ago. We just got those in. But so come on out. Hope you do. And of course, we have the Witching Hour Escape Room and Zombie Outbreak. Both are 1 hour escape rooms. So do you have what it takes? Call 814-209-8214 or book on chillernight.com to see if you can escape. Now, just to let you know, Saturday, first group, they both groups that day, just the other day, went through the Witching Hour. First group did not make it. Second group did by about 4.5 minutes. So it was tight. It was tight. But they did get it. Brad says, Ega! Ega indeed. Iga's really making a notable comeback here tonight, as far as being mentioned. PBR says, can I make a recommendation for next week's topic? Absolutely. What is your topic that you'd like to see for next week? Stephanie says, John Carpenter also directed The Thing. Yes, he did. Absolutely. That was a really very cool movie. Yes, Stephanie says, Frankenstein. Well, with the shirt. Yeah, nice Frankenstein t-shirt, Brad says. Jason says, I would love to buy one of each of your t-shirts. Extra large? We have, you know what? Here's the t-shirts, and I am going to just open it up to where if folks wanna even buy them, I mean, we can set something up to mail them out. I'm not gonna wait until. I was going to wait until I made an e-store from the website, but I'm not. If somebody wants one, right now I will say I just have. That's not a t-shirt. That's not a t-shirt at all. But I have, let's see. That's Jack Shadow. What the heck? What the heck, folks? Oh, yeah. Art the Clown. We have that. We have Jason Voorhees. A large and extra large, okay? Now, this one, I'm not sure what. Wait a minute. I got the size right here. But I have Art the Clown, Jason Voorhees, slashers. That's the monsters in the Mystery Machine. All right, Art the Clown. I have that in extra large. I have Jason. Okay, I have that. Slashers, large and extra large. Terrifier. I've got those in large and extra large. It's kind of weird when you're first starting out. You're like, oh, I think it's safe to get large and extra large. Just kill it. We've got large and extra large. And the Creature from the Black Lagoon, we have those. And of course we have Frankenstein, large and extra large. So, there you have it, there you have it. Yeah, if anyone is interested in purchasing those, get a hold of me. You can, if you don't know how to get in touch with me, if you don't have Messenger, I know some of you I write to pretty regularly. Patty and D have. Some of you I have or text. But if you want to, if all of that just slipped your mind, go to chillernight.com. Go to the contact part. That's me. I'm the only one who answers that. So that is me. You're writing to me, and so. Yes, to each his own. I'm only kidding, people. Bonehead says, I'm honestly not being ignorant. If I'm pulling your chain, that means I like you. What? I didn't see. What are you doing? Okay. D, I went back. I was trying to see what did Bonehead do? And I saw these. D says, Kane only appeared in 4 films. Friday the 13th, Part 7, New Blood. Okay, 7, 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, Jason Goes to Hell, Friday the 13th, The Final Friday, and Jason X. Yeah. Yeah, I thought he should have been in Jason versus Freddy, though. Freddy versus Jason, I forget which one. Slumber Party Massacre, SBC says. Bonus says, I hope the Chiller Night crew knows that I'm a very sarcastic skull. A real bonehead, that'd be me, LOL. Yes, we know, and we appreciate you being here. We appreciate your sense of humor. So don't ever lose that. Patty says, "Gotta go. Stay safe, all." You too, Patty. Thanks for joining us tonight. Um, but it says, "Let me know when you get the Godzilla and Gamera shirts in, Brian. I'll be buying." I almost bought Godzilla one too, but I will. I will announce it. PBR says, "Is surviving natural disasters or the end of the world okay?" What? For a topic like a kind of like an apocalyptic type of thing. Sure. Like in what regard? Movies? Are you talking about movies, or are you just talking about like what would we do? What would we do? Um, but like I'll just put down apocalyptic movies, and you let me know if that's what you were referring to. If not, we can certainly do something like that. There's all kinds of things. Last Man on Earth, Night of the Living Dead. Of course, those are more like zombie type of things. And I know that there's certainly a plethora of other type of apocalyptic movies that would fall nicely into those categories. But it says, "Thanks, SBC. I really do feel bad if I aggravate or annoy people. I do think the world of everyone on here, Chillinate crew, is awesome." Oh, thank you, Bonehead. I don't think anyone's taking you the wrong way at all. Oh, SBC said, "Bonehead, no worry. It's how we all know and love you." Stephanie says, "We love you, Bones." Mad Max SBC says, "Yeah, I did get a little image in my head of Mad Max." Yeah, we can do that. We can do that for next week. I do want to say movies like World War Z. Yeah, perfect. All right, so we'll do apocalyptic setting movies for next week. Sure, we can do that. Hey, I wanted to say, now we've got about 11 minutes left. So as far as Chiller Night Theater, I'm very seriously considering bringing that back. However, the manner in which I'm going to do that, the only manner in which I can make that possible, is if it is this guy right here. And Jack Shadow can make occasional appearances. At least that's the plan. And then I can also read into the crystal ball, and we could do it that way. Because I had a lot of fun, and I think that would be a fun thing to do. But there's two things like that's pretty easy for me to basically be this guy here. I'm not dressing up. I'm not being a character. I'm not writing dialogue. I am just me hosting a movie with you guys. And we could bring Chiller Night Theater back. We could do live episodes. There might be some that we could do where I'm actually filming some pre-recorded stuff on the chair and stuff. But I think for the most part, it wouldn't be a bad idea to bring that stuff back. I can't. The only problem is I can't tape those on a Friday or Saturday night. We could even do a Tuesday night. Instead of doing a Chiller Night Live, we could possibly do that. Something to think about. But if we do that, here's the thing. This guy is, I can do my name and all that, but I'm kind of thinking of going with Bryan Mr. Chiller Hogue, something as a little tagline, but just a name, because I don't think Bryan Hogue sounds like a horror host name. It shouldn't. I don't think my parents had that in mind when they named me, but or if somebody can think of a neat name. Where's John Soto when you need him? Soto, where is he at? But if somebody can think of a neat little moniker for me to add to my name, that'd be really cool. D says, "I think they did Kane dirty on Jason versus Freddy. He even had a luncheon and thought it was a done deal. Then in waltzes Ken Kurtzinger, not cool. Yeah, I know that didn't go down well at all, and there was a lot of people, including myself. There were a lot of people who were disappointed that I fully expected Kane Hodder because I had heard he was coming back for that movie. But it says, Brian, ain't nobody wants to take me anyways except for the neighbor's dog who likes to take me and bury me in the backyard. Oh, that's gotta be rough being a bonehead. Brad says, the public domain in 2029 for this year is the end of the silent film era and the beginning of the sound era. A movie sounds better with the sound on. You agree, Brian? I think so. Much, much easier to hear that way. So they say. Yes, I agree with you, Brad. Yep. Stephanie says, good idea, Brian. All right. Thank you, Stephanie. Public domain in 2029 for this. I'm reading that again, Brad, because I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. It is the end of the silent film era. Huh. Interesting. And those silent movies are cool, but like we tried Nosferatu just as a test. That was the guinea pig, because it wasn't really as like that could be maybe an added bonus feature type of. But the problem with putting those on as the feature movie of the week is like a lot of people nowadays aren't going to really sit through, even a lot of horror fans aren't going to sit through the old classic silent movies, but they are pretty cool. Tom says, do you have to have a goatee to host the show? I do. This guy don't have a goatee, and he hosts many shows. No, I don't have to. In fact, I probably won't. Those are just some better quality pictures I had. SBC said, we should bring back the live film shows when we all watch a film together and take occasional breaks for chatting. We can do that. I mean, that's what I'm proposing. I think that would be a lot of fun. Brian the Chiller Hogue. That's a Brian Hometown Horror Host Hogue. Chiller Hogue. PBR says. Bonus, we can call you Triple H Hogue. Stephanie says, Brian shadows Jack's brother. I'm the one with skin. Tom says, Brian the Rogue Hogue. Yeah, I was thinking, like, look at this guy, like, what's he look like? Professor Von Hogue or something, trying to just think of what, nobody wants the horror host to be named Bryan Hogue, so I can say my name, just like Bill Cardell did, Bill Chili Billy. You gotta add something to it to make it fun. I like your moniker for Brian, Tom. Which one, the Rogue Hogue, or maybe that was it. D says, bonus, more horror movies in the public domain now? It would seem that way. Brad, what do you say? 1929. From 1929. Okay, is that what you're... The public domain in 1929 for this year is the end. Okay, because I was looking at 2029, I was thinking, we got some years. Don't wish your life away, Brad. Don't do it. Stay with us. Okay, 1929. Patty says, Master Brian, host of horror. That sounds so egocentric for me to... host of horror. Well, that sounds very, very debonair. Bonus says, 1922 was a better movie, Brett. Here's another reason for this, too. If I am... I'm putting this on as if you don't know already that I'm referring to myself. But if you that being the host plus this show here, when you walk into the store, it's me. I'm the guy. So I do want to make me the recognizable, the face of this for now. Keep Jack's shadow now that he has, got the show where it needs to be, his work here is done. Now he's the haunted house because I've got a reason for all this. One is I want to keep the show alive, but only as me because it's just too much for me to do it the other way. But Jack Shadow is now the face of Jack Shadow's House of Terror, and I'm working on making that into a year-round attraction. So I want Jack to be the face of the haunt, and me to be the face of Chiller in general. The Rogue Hogue bonus says, any more thoughts on a Roku channel? I had a lot of thoughts about that today. So, yeah, there are. I actually have somebody I want to talk to about that. D says, yeah, Roku channel would be nifty. SBC says maybe a lab coat. Dr. Hogenstein. Dr. Hogenstein. Yeah. I feel kind of weird though if I like that idea, but I kind of feel a little weird because I know Doc Dredd comes on here every once in a while. Although these days he hasn't been on here for a while because he's so busy with all the other stuff he's doing. And if you haven't seen his stuff, go support him. Watch what he does. He's pretty busy these days. I say good on him. That's great, but. I don't know. I feel a little weird being a doc, but yeah, it's a neat idea though. Dr. Hogenstein. Good night, everyone. See you next week. All right. Good night, Tom. SBC says good night, Stephanie Press. Stephanie. Oh, Steph. Take care and see you all next week. All right, Stephanie. Tom says. Oh, I read that already. All right. So that being said, we'll go with. I'll start kind of in the planning stage to get that ball rolling, just because of everything else I'm trying to do. The only way I could do this is if me becomes the host again, as the regular host. That's the only way I could do that. But if we want the show to continue, and I enjoy that. Because it would be basically like this show here, only watching a movie. So there's a joke about Hogwarts, but I can't find it. Tom says. Bowden says, well, thanks again, Brian and the Chiller Night crew for another wonderful show. Yins, take care and best wishes until we all get together again soon. All right, thank you, Bonehead. Brad says, good night, Chiller Hogue. All right, good night, Brad. Thanks for joining us. Raymond says, good night, everyone. Stay safe. You too, Raymond. Thank you. D says, host, blood curdler Brian, or grave keeper Brian, or dark harbinger. Oh, yeah. There's a couple right there. Bonus says, Brian might have a wart somewhere. It could work, Tom. Al says, good night, everyone. All right. Good night, Al. Thanks for joining us. All right, so everybody, thank you for joining me and each other for another episode of Chiller Night Live. Have a good night. Have a good Chiller Night. We'll see you next week.